ESPN NFL draft expert Jordan Reed had a lot to say about this Georgia Bulldog this week. Here's what he had to say about Mykel Williams. He said Georgia edge defender Mykel Williams enters this season as the #1 ranked player on my 2025 NFL draft big board. Now, he's not saying that Mykel Williams is going to go #1 overall, even though we have seen a Georgia defender pretty recently go #1 overall with Trayvon Walker going to the Jaguars. But he believes that Mykel Williams is basically the best NFL draft prospect, right, for next year's NFL draft. Now, I know it's a long way to go, and Mykel Williams probably needs to produce a little bit more, but if you're a Georgia fan, this shouldn't totally surprise you because you already know how good he is. Here's what he had to go on to say. At 6'5", 265 pounds, Mykel Williams has enormous upside, and he's completely right about that. While he has only 9 sacks during his first 2 seasons, the stat sheet doesn't tell the full story of how valuable Williams is to the Georgia defense. And again, he is right. Although he just has the 9 sacks, this is a guy that creates havoc. He is going to have a massive junior season for the Dogs in year 3 this year. I believe a lot of others are expecting it too. He's extremely quick off the line. He's a tremendous run defender, and a lot of that goes to his length. He gets his hands on the opposing tackle and holds his own. He forces that running back to go inside or bounce outside, way around Mykel Williams, who gets buried by that star, that linebacker, going to chase him down. So while he may not making all the stops and lighting up the stat sheet, he's helping everyone else around him. If he's not getting to the quarterback, he's pressuring the quarterback. He's making things difficult. He's forcing the quarterback to scramble, get out of the pocket, and throw the ball away, right? So what he does doesn't always show up, in the stat sheet, and that's what I like about Jordan Reed. He is watching the film. He's understanding how good Mykel Williams is, even though you look at the numbers and it's not going to shock anyone. His versatility stands out because he was extremely versatile last year. He played 162 snaps at defensive tackle, 148 at defensive end, 54 at outside linebacker, where he's going to play a lot more this season. So they are going to unleash Mykel Williams off the edge at outside linebacker. 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, Mykel Williams is going to be rushing the passer. Now, he goes on to say that he needs to create more moves to get to the quarterback, but, dude is a 5-star because he can get to the quarterback in a number of different ways. He's got a spin move. He can win with a bull rush. He can bend. So he knows how to get to the quarterback. Of course, he's got to continue that. But Mykel Williams is a guy that a lot of people believe will have a giant junior season. Whether he lights up the stat sheet or not, I expect him to have more sacks, more tackles for a loss. In fact, he finished last year with 10 tackles for a loss, which is impressive. 23 quarterback pressures. Dude was in the backfield consistently. He's so tough to block, and I think he's going to get to the quarterback a little more. But there's another NFL analyst that thinks that one other Georgia Bulldog is going to go #1 overall. And again, it's early, but Matt Miller, who is a respected NFL analyst, draft analyst for ESPN, said on July 2nd, so about last week, right? He said Carson Beck is going to go #1 overall in the draft. And I'm going to talk about why in just a second because he is really, really good. And I could totally see Carson Beck going #1 overall. But first, got to plug collegebronze.com. Listen, this is a 5-star product right here. I'm not a salesman. I'm a football guy. I normally talk about recruiting, but we're going to talk about the team today. This guy sells itself. Listen, get yours today with the discount promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. You can order in the description below in this video. And when you order, make sure you put in that promo code. This is the best looking, most detailed Georgia Bulldog statue on the market today. Get yours today so you get it in time for the football season, which is right around the corner. Promo code DAWGPOST at checkout. Get yours today. Okay, so Carson Beck, a lot of people think could go #1 overall. Got his numbers right here, but here's what Matt Miller had to say about him. He said, actually, he's got Shedeur Sanders #2. What did he say? Oh, he said Carson Beck is a steady pocket passer with a big arm, great processing speed. He is a guy who can go from route #1, route #2, route #3. Tennessee fans know all about that because Carson Beck had plenty of time up in Knoxville to go through his progressions. And on several touchdowns, he went to a guy that was 3rd on the progression list because he had the time, because he has the pocket presence, because he can read defense. and he knows when to accurately get the ball out and who to get it out to. He's very good. He learned under Todd Monken. He's still learning under Mike Bobo, and I expect him, and a lot of people expect him to have a monster fourth season. Again, this guy's not some dude who just showed up, right? He was in the 2020 class, which feels like forever ago. He is a very good quarterback. He's only getting better. Last year, he threw for 24 touchdowns, completed 72.5% of his throws. First season as a starter, very good against top 15, top 20 teams, top 10 teams, Ole Miss, Kentucky, or two in particular. But he is a really good quarterback and made the big throws. He's got to hit more of the deep balls, right? If there's one thing he could work on with his receivers, a little more chemistry on balls down the field, but short to intermediate passing game, the back shoulder throws down the sideline, he can hit all those all day long. And he hits guys in stride. He's a very good quarterback, and I think he is bound for a monster senior season with that offensive line in front of him. And Trevor Etienne and multiple reliable running backs behind him. He's got tight ends. He's got receivers, like I've talked about in another video. Carson Beck is bound for a giant season. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he went number 1 overall. Okay. Who else is getting first-round marks, right? Malachi Stark's probably going to be the next guy off the board. One of the top safeties. Rangy, athletic, ball skills. He can run. He brings size, instincts, multi-year starter. He's got a lot of experience and has made big plays. The dude covers a lot of ground, but he's also a sure tackler in the open field. Can help in the run as well as he can against the pass. He is a tremendous football player who's only going to get better. Great athlete, better football player, and that is what I think is going to get him picked in the first round, maybe high in the first round. We'll see what teams want a safety, but he could be, without a doubt, one of the first guys off the board. 3 and out, right, from that 2022 class with Mykel Williams. They were 5-star prospects for a reason, and they are absolutely proving it. Ernest Green is another guy who I think could slide into the first round with a big season. He could be the next great Georgia Bulldog offensive tackle. I think he's well on his way. We've seen plenty of Georgia offensive tackles go in the first round. Their offensive line university right now, right? That's not me saying it. Those are just the facts. Ernest Green could be the next guy chosen from left tackle at the University of Georgia into the NFL draft. So wouldn't surprise me at all. Right now, he's not getting the first round grades that I'm seeing, but would not surprise me at all if he jumped into that first round with a big season as a junior in year 3 at left tackle. Other guys who will hear their name called, Smile Munden, maybe a second, third round pick. If he stays healthy, has a big season, can lead Georgia's defense to another fantastic elite season. Smile Munden is going to hear his name called sooner than later. He's got plenty of size. He can run. He's got good instincts. He's a strong tackler, can blitz and attack the quarterback as well. There's a lot to like about his game. He will play in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. Will he be a third, second round pick? Maybe he slides into the first round with a big season. That wouldn't totally shock me at all. Tate Ratledge, another multi-year starter, size, strength, big game experience at right guard. He's bound for a dominant, 5th season. He was in that 2020 class as well. So he is a very good prospect that I think will play and start at right guard or maybe left guard at the NFL level. Nazir Stackhouse, in my notes it's Steakhouse. It shows how hungry I am, looking for a steak tonight. But Nazir Stackhouse is also a defensive lineman who I think will hear his name picked. Xavier Truss at right tackle, I think, could hear his name picked. Dylan Fairchild, my guy for Side County, represent. I will be so happy for Dylan Fairchild when he hears his name called in the NFL draft. Dom Lovett, Colby Young at wide receiver, I both think have a really good chance to be drafted. If Dylan Bell has a massive season, he enters the draft, I think he'll hear his name called. He should if he leaves early. Trevor Etienne at running back, and hear his name called in the NFL draft. I expect him to be picked. And then guys on the cusp, guys that could come out if they have a really strong year in 2024. Jalen Walker at linebacker, his versatility, his strength, his potential, high ceiling. He hasn't even scratched the surface of his potential at Georgia yet. He flashes big playability. Got to be more consistent and more productive. but I do think he has the size and the ability to play at the next level with a monster senior season or junior season. If he enters the draft, I think he'll get picked. Dalen Everett, if he takes that next step at cornerback, I can see him getting selected if he comes out early. And then Oscar Delp, I think he's more of a 4-year guy. I think that's the plan. But if Oscar has a big season and is one of the top tight end prospects in next year's draft, he could come out and hear his name called sooner than later as well. The NFL loves these athletic pass-catching tight ends, and Oscar Delp, Ben Yurcek as well, the incoming tight end transfer from Stanford, could also be picked. I expect him actually to be picked. If Oscar Delp comes out, here's his name called too. We're talking, 10 plus guys who could be drafted out of Georgia next year in that 25 draft. But Mykel Williams, Carson Beck, 2 guys to keep an eye on at the very beginning of next year's draft, according to ESPN. Thanks for watching. Get your Bulldog today, and I'll see you on the website.